Hi guys, welcome back to Harping on the Past.
A theater kid podcast where we talk about theater, past, present, and future. Jacob, why did you do that?
Because I wanted to say the first part of the intro today. I never get to say it
that all day.
I'm
You're like, you know what I'm gonna do tonight?
Yeah, I'm just gonna rush right back on in.
I'm gonna step on Sheradyn's toes.
You guys, we are doing a podcast together. Sheradyn is back. She was gone last episode.
Oh my gosh, I was gone.
I was gonna say last week, which it was last week, but we haven't released that episode yet. By the time we're recording this, by the time this is out, it'll have been released.
Yeah.
But for us, it hasn't happened yet. So.
Yeah. Well, no, it did happen.
Well,
it's not been uploaded yet as we're recording this, but when you're hearing it, it is out.
English.
Does that make sense?
That's what I said.
That's not what you said.
It is.
You said, when this is up, it won't have happened yet.
I mean, like
and then you said, when we're recording this, it hasn't happened yet. Yes, it did.
It's been a long day. It's been a long week, actually.
Honestly, today's been a really long day for me, too. I had to go.
Yeah, me too. I woke up.
Me too.
Well, I was woken.
Sorry.
I woke up, didn't plan on it, but it happened.
Yeah.
No, I woke up extra early because the stupid dogs came and invaded my room. And
mongrels.
The mongrels took up my entire bed.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't go back to sleep. So then I just rolled out of bed and then crawled to the bathroom.
Crawled?
Oh, yeah. I
on
couldn't.
All fours?
Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to walk.
Too tired.
I was way too exhausted. And then I went to work and worked all day, 11 to 7. And then here I am recording a podcast.
Once again. My hair looks kind of good. Sorry to the person who watches this that thinks that I touch my hair all the time. I'm going to touch it. It's my coworker.
Touch that hair. Hey.
Jacob.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like people might be tired of me saying this, but like, it's been rough. It's been a rough year mentally for me.
Yeah.
I mean, physically, I'm great. Mentally, I'm shaken. And that's just the truth.
You can say that.
I can say what I want.
Ain't nobody know what the hell
this person
we're
don't
saying.
listen to the podcast where that quote came from, but it's true. Mentally, it's just been up and down. Especially like the last 5 or so weeks has been really, really difficult. Mm-hmm. But it's getting better slowly but surely. Doing the things. I'm journaling. I'm reading a new book about OCD.
Journaling?
Yeah, I've been journaling.
How is that?
It's
Does it feel funny? Because it always feels funny when I do it. Because I'm like, who am I writing this to?
It feels interesting because I journaled a lot when I started going to therapy and started learning for recovery for my OCD. And as time went on and like I was improving, I haven't needed as much. And now my OCD is kind of like re-sparked a bit, but now it's new subjects and new OCD. So it felt weird to have to like go back to like journaling, get it all out, but it's been productive.
Yeah, I need to schedule another therapy appointment. I haven't in a while because I turned 26, and for those of you who don't know, your freaking insurance goes bye-bye.
Oh, yes.
You turn 26.
Yes, it does.
Also, speaking of journaling, do you remember when your sweet, sweet boyfriend told me to write a letter to the universe of like things?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Jacob, I was thinking about that the other day. Things are happening.
Things are happening that you asked to happen in the letter?
It's not like a letter, it's a list.
A list.
But
because you would ask people to endorse the list, right? Like
that's right.
And I endorsed the list.
You did. You signed off on it.
I did.
You co-signed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking about it, and I was like, wait a second. Because you know some of the things on the list.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really wild. And I'm also very happy.
So guys, make a list to the universe of things that you want and have people co-sign. They don't actually have to. They just have to read it and be like, yes, I want that for you.
Put it in with a little bit of hard work of your own, you know?
Yeah.
Like Tiana's daddy said to her, like wishing on the shooting star will only take you part of the way.
That's right.
Help it along with some hard work of your own. And it's true.
There's been trials and tribulations.
We don't have the rights.
It was 2 seconds.
Well, it's fine. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. So.
But yeah, I'm sorry that you've been having a hard year.
It's okay. It's that's life, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes things are hard, but we get through.
I agree. I've been having some moments. Mm-hmm. Mine, I mean, ours are kind of not really the same actually, but like kind of sort of. Like being in a new relationship.
Right.
Is scary town for me. Mm-hmm. And it's making me pause and reassess the way that I do things. Mm-hmm. And it stresses me out. Like the other day, my grandpa was so sweet. Like I was just kind of in my head, you know, and my grandpa was so sweet. And he was like, Sheradyn, you know, you're worth fighting for. Like you're worth going through bad things. Not that I'm going through bad things. Like my relationship is fine. But I mean, it was the sweetest thing. And I was like, yeah, because like sometimes we have like self-doubt, you know?
Yeah.
And it just, you know, I've been working through that. Mm-hmm. But we're getting there. And those have been my bad mental days.
Yes.
Yeah. Just realizing being in a relationship again is kind of scary. But I'm also like so happy. So.
And your grandpa's right. You were totally worth fighting for.
So are you.
Because you're incredible. You're amazing.
So are you.
Stop it.
Oh my God. Are we going to kiss?
Are we in love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, I'm in love with you.
I know.
You know? I'm so
I mean,
glad you know that.
I've been in love with you for a very long time, so.
We're going to get back into that later on this episode.
Yes. But before that, this has been a crazy long intro. Let's talk about why we're getting fired today.
Yeah. Do you want to go first since you stole my freaking thunder at the beginning? Just carry on with going first in things. I normally like that. But
this is my show. I already kicked Sheradyn off for an episode.
Sheradyn said, did you do a funny intro without me?
It was.
Sheradyn sucks. She's been fired.
I'll let you listen to it. No, I did not say that. But because Allie started the episode with me.
Oh, our sweet, sweet Allie.
And that was great. But
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm getting fired because I have listened to the wrong people at times.
I love that. Tell me more.
Yeah, let me just elaborate. This is the stupidest reason ever. And it's so minuscule and annoying. And like, I feel like that statement is true, but like the one particular instance I'm thinking of is whoever told high schoolers that they had to wear the obscure most amount of makeup on stage because they say your face will get washed out, I feel is the biggest lie in the entire world.
Do you?
Because not once since graduating high school have I ever worn makeup in a show, other than Arturo Ui, which was a character design makeup. I've never once worn makeup.
You know, I used to be in that boat where I was like, I don't need it. Because, like, you know, in high school, someone once told me, we have to fill in your eyebrows or no one will see them. And I said, you're not filling in my eyebrows. I don't do that. I'm going to look like a clown. And they said, Sheradyn, you need it. The audience will not see your eyebrows. And I said, watch me. I went out on stage. I do have pictures from that performance. My eyebrows are nowhere to be found. And I'm like, damn, they were right.
Okay, but
maybe
listen,
it's different. I don't know.
I feel like pictures can only capture so much.
Yeah.
And because this started, you know, we started doing Sound of Music in 6th grade. And back then...
No, I was in 7th.
Well, you were in 7th. I was in 6th. And do you remember, like, they used to, like, have tables set up and, like, all, like, these teachers and volunteers would do the makeup for us?
Yep.
So, like, that's how that started. I'd go and get...
They still make them do it.
Yeah, the, like, foundation, eyeliner, mascara, and, like, blush are, like, the typical, like, standard things that most people use. And, listen, makeup's fine. If you like makeup, cool. I'm happy for you. I don't like makeup. I don't like it on me. It's just, I find it uncomfortable. I hate I hate how it makes my face feel heavier and like I'm gonna break out, and then I hate taking it off, and I feel like it's never fully off unless I shower. And if there's a matinee show and I have to like become a normal person and then go back and do another show, and I still have like makeup and I look like a sad clown hooker when I go to like Carl's Jr. to get lunch, like I hate it.
And also, it makes it hard for mic tape to stick to your face.
Yeah, it's just, and like the pictures I have of like the makeup, I'm like, oh my God, it just looks so, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I hate it.
And also, Colleen Ballinger, who has been on Broadway.
Our friend.
Our dear friend Colleen.
Hey, girl. Miss you.
We miss
Kisses.
you. When she did Waitress on Broadway, she talked about the same thing. She's like, in high school, like, we used to like throw so much makeup on, and when I was there doing Waitress, nothing. So many people were like, oh yeah, I just threw on a little bit of this and I was good. And so many people don't wear makeup.
Insane.
And when I did Ferryman, didn't have to wear makeup.
Did anyone have to wear makeup?
I mean, people would put it on, but like there wasn't a
makeup plot.
Right.
Damn.
Not that I know of anyway. People like kind of did their own thing.
That's nice.
Yeah. I didn't wear a damn thing of makeup.
You lucky ducky.
But so that's why I'm getting fired, because like I'm just listening to the wrong people, because I took that to heart. I was like, you need makeup in every show.
Right.
And I didn't. So anyway.
Amen.
Sheradyn, why are you getting fired, or why are you not getting cast today?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'm just always distracted. Like I am constantly in a state of, what? Constantly. I think it goes along with me saying I'm always confused, but like I'm always distracted. Like if I'm talking to you, 9 times out of 10, I have a whole nother conversation going on in my head.
No, I know. That's 100% accurate. If you rewind this podcast about 2 minutes,
I did
the
just
case
do
in
it.
point
I did.
will be proven.
I did just do it. That's really embarrassing. I got a text.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because
I was listening to you though.
I've told Sheradyn this multiple times. I'm like, Sheradyn, this is what happens. I'm like, oop, my microphone's falling. It's okay. I caught it. I'll be like, Sheradyn, ask me a question. And she'll be like, what do you mean? I'm like, just ask me a question. Like, ask me like, where'd you get your shirt?
Where'd you get your shirt?
Oh yeah, I got my shirt. It was on sale. Oh my goodness, I just got a text.
Yeah.
Or, ow, oh, I got a freaking thing on my nail. Anyway, sorry, what?
I'm so sorry. It must be exhausting to be around me, you know? But also I think I'd be friends with me.
No, I still love you, and I am still friends with you, and I hardly notice it in the moment. But when I've listened back on our podcast, I'm like, damn, Sheradyn, you cut me off so frequently.
God, I really do. I'm like, so sorry.
It happens all the time. I'm like when I skip segments to edit, and I'm like, okay, I'm talking, and then all of a sudden, then Sheradyn chips in, and then I'm like, let me skip ahead. And then same thing, and I'm like, that's my best friend.
Do you want to know?
She got something to say.
I just did it again. Do you want to know what it is? I've talked to my therapist about it before. I have this constant need of like, I don't want there to be a lull in conversation, and I don't want there to be silence. Well, so I'm always scared. I have to be like, ah. It's the same way where like when I make plans with someone, like if I'm hanging out with you, I want to know the next time I'm going to see you. Whereas like my boyfriend this week was like, how about I can plan when we hang out next? And I was like, oh no, because I'm convinced like we won't hang out if I'm not the one to do it.
If you're not the one planning.
Yeah,
it.
and he's like, this is a lesson in patience. And it's not going very well for me.
What have I always taught you, Sheradyn?
Patience is a virtue.
There we go. That's it.
And soda is
a luxury. Soda's a the 2 things I've taught Sheradyn LaRoe in life: patience is a virtue, and soda is a luxury.
And all this is to say, I am constantly distracted. Like if I'm in a scene with someone, I'm like, I'm confident. It looks like there's nothing behind my eyes. I'm just, Dead eyes all the way.
I've been there too, but normally it's because I'm looking at the page of script in my head and
Me
like,
too.
I'm like, what's the next one? So I wouldn't say that's distraction. That's concentrating on getting your next line. But I mean, I guess depending on who you talk to, the director will be like, you need to be in the scene. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying. But also the lines need to be there also. And I don't want to look stupid.
In order for me to get my lines right, I have to not think about them. I have to just go. I have to get on the train and ride it. Because if I'm actively like, what's my next line? I'm like, where'd it go? It's gone. It's left the train station. On the train going the other way. Adios, muchacho.
Hit the road, Jack.
Sayonara.
There's always another thought.
See you next Tuesday. Like, it's gone.
That happens.
But if I trust myself and I go, you know what, I'll just spurt them out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. It's like out of body experience. You're like, go ahead, Sheradyn. You better say those lines, sister.
I had that experience one time doing Bang Bang You're Dead.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened that year. Right before we went on, it was one of like the school performances. I just had a panic moment. I was like,
I don't know my lines.
My lines are gone. Like, I know my lines, but I don't know the order. And I was
Did I say something to you? Was I like, just don't think? I tell everyone that.
I didn't voice this to anyone because I was too scared. So then I just went out there and was like, Jesus will take the wheel, and I hope that they come out in the correct order. And I think they did. The show went well. So
it's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
Stop.
Kiss, kiss.
Can't kiss.
Why?
Because
we're both in committed relationships.
Exactly.
Dang it. What else are we going to talk about?
Well,
Jacob.
Yes.
Me. Are finally done being a star. And I know you're sad about it. I've never been happier.
I've never been happier that your career has ended.
That your career is over. No. I finally get my best friend back.
This is true.
And guess what? Now, let's make it about Sheradyn. Just kidding.
Let's make this Sheradyn. No,
we can finally celebrate my birthday.
I know.
No,
I know.
But I am so proud of you, and you made so many new friends. I'm a little jealous, and you were so good in the show. But now you have your life back.
And
will his life begin?
And as you know, for me, I'm like, I will enjoy this for about a month, and then I'll be like, I
think that's generous.
Another project.
I think you're gonna enjoy it for like 2 weeks, and then you'll be itchy.
Usually 3 weeks, and then I'm like, okay, what do I got next?
Yeah.
And the answer is nothing.
Right.
At the moment, there is a show I'm gonna audition for. I sent it to Sheradyn.
Oh yeah.
She auditions too. So.
To be honest, I didn't look at what dates it was.
Yeah, I know I've looked at them. Do I remember them? No, not at all. But yeah, Ferryman closed, and that was such an incredible experience. You guys got to hear some of my cast members and stage managers got to come on the podcast, and we talked about all kinds of things. But I also mentioned how I got to go on for a different character. So I got to be a swing, and that was so much fun. Did you
record it the night you went on?
No, I recorded it the next day.
I thought you did it.
No. I went on. So the character I filled in for, it was like a domino effect. One actor couldn't be there, so we all just got bumped up and moved to different roles.
But what day was that on?
This was on Wednesday. This happened on Wednesday.
Oh, and you recorded Thursday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you went on Friday.
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't post about it until Thursday, though, because I didn't post the day of. I posted the next day, and yeah.
Wow.
And that was fun. But kind of going back to your line thing, you can't focus on the line, because I definitely screwed up a line when I was being a swing. And I was so upset because the same thing happened in a rehearsal.
What? I was supposed to go see that with her.
Oh.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
I was doing the lines, and then I looked off to the distance where my friend Kyle, who plays the character that I filled in for, I did his thing, and then all of a sudden the lines like in rehearsal.
Left the train.
Left the train station. But it was only for a second. And the line was, it's literally, when I was a kid, we used to go out to my grandfather's place down in Fermanagh there and help with the harvest. When I was in the moment, I went, when I was a kid, we used to go to my grandfather's and help with the harvest. It was good crack. Got us out the smoke.
Did your scene partner go?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I said the same thing essentially. I just took out a few words.
Did you get in trouble?
No, because I was a swing. Who cares?
Exactly. You're fine.
Imagine I did get docked.
$1.
$1 of pay.
Was it so fun to get to interact with the other person in that scene more?
Yeah, I mean, because like I got to the scenes I was in were all the same. I just was a different character in them, and I had more lines. And spoiler alert, like my character did die at the end, so I did get to die, and I had to like get rigged up to the blood tube to make it look like I was shot in the head, and I've never done it before. And according to the people on stage, they said it looked great. So,
good.
And I felt it all over my face, but I mean, I couldn't just like be like, oh,
You couldn't
did it work?
see it. Yeah.
And I think I'm a terrible dead person because I definitely was like on stage just
Breathing.
trying hard not to breathe, but like I knew it.
Yeah.
I had to. I had a lot of adrenaline.
A revenge party. Sorry. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I would have been maybe peeing my pants if I had to go on for another role.
It's yeah.
But you also had a long time to prepare for maybe going on.
Yeah. They gave me enough time. I'm in that scene, so like I knew the lines pretty much. So it wasn't that bad. And then we had the last few shows, and then we closed on March 5th. And that was so cool, and I'm so sad to not see those people anymore, at least daily, because we'd been rehearsing consistently since December, like early December. And we all got really emotional, which I didn't think I would. But like just like standing in like our pre-show circle and like seeing everyone all sad, it made me really sad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't cry in the last scene because I had to be scared. But I wanted to cry, but I didn't do it.
You cried after the show?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
I did cry after the show.
Did everyone?
Yeah, most people did. I mean, there was maybe like 2 people who were like holding it together, but the rest of us were like, okay, bye. But it's so cool. Like it's such a great community, and we already have been like, okay, we are getting back together for this person's show, and this person's doing a concert, and this person's show. So we're going to figure that out, and we're all going to go together and support and cheer them on. And I love that. I'm so excited. We already have 3 things that we're like, yeah, we're going to go and see it. So
Can I come?
of course.
Amazing.
I'll bring you along.
Please do. I'd love nothing more.
Coming out.
As long as I have a job, you have a job.
Yeah. Sheradyn.
Yeah.
And you have had a pretty big week because you helped out with our high school's production of Into the Woods, and they had their opening week.
They did.
So how did that go? Tell me everything.
So opening night, I have class on Thursdays. Opening night, I made it there right before Steps of the Palace, which is like maybe 10 minutes before intermission. So I didn't get to see the whole first act, and then they did the second act. It was good. I watched the whole show Friday and the whole show Saturday. Saturday was a little rough. A little bit, you know. Got a little tired, but that's okay. There were a lot of little things that happened that like no one would have noticed, but I did because I've seen it so many times.
Did they have 2 shows on Saturday?
No, he took away matinees.
Oh.
He doesn't do them anymore.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, I loved doing matinees, but there was something funny that happened on Saturday night. I'm gonna go again this week, but are you familiar with Into the Woods?
A tiny bit. Please
you
don't
know
come
the
for me.
general story.
I know
like
the general
they
story.
They have to feed items to a cow.
Yes, I've seen the movie.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, but
no, that's okay. So there's a scene where everyone knows Into the Woods. It's not a spoiler. They're feeding items to the cow.
Right.
Okay.
Milky white.
Milky white. And the baker has a satchel, and he's pulling the things out to give to the cow. Someone must have messed up the satchel because there were tissues in the bottom of the bag.
Oh, no.
And so the baker is like stuffing these things, and a tissue flies out and is just dead center, Jacob.
And no one picked it up?
No one picked it up. It was like that scene, no one grabbed it. Next scene, no one grabbed it. Next scene, someone was on the floor next to it. Didn't grab it. It wasn't until the last number in Act 1 that the baker picked it up in the middle of a dance. And I've never cheered louder for someone to pick up a tissue in my life. He was like, though it's fearful, though it's dark, though it's deep, and though you may lose, pick up the bathroom man, catch your wolves, boom, and put it away. And I was like, yes.
He said, let me make this my new prop.
I wasn't even going to go backstage during intermission, but I did just to go, thank you. And I asked the kid who sat next to it, and he was like, I didn't even know it was there. And I was like, you literally were right next to it. Someone else stepped on it in a scene and didn't do anything. And I was like, you had to have felt that. Jacob, it was dead center. Like bright white tissue just in the middle of the scene.
I feel like I would have gone full Abby Lee Miller, be like, why did you leave your prop on the stage?
Yeah. He didn't mean to.
Well, yeah, but like,
But also like,
how did no one notice and not pick it up?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
The same group of people missed their entrance twice.
During a show?
Uh-huh. It wasn't like a full miss. They were late.
That happened in our show, actually.
Did
Someone
it?
was late. Yeah.
Oh.
Recently, our lead was so funny. So we're all...
You're talking about Ferryman?
Yeah, and Ferryman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm not in the show a lot. I'm only in a couple scenes. And so I was sitting in the dressing room with everyone else who wasn't on stage. And our lead was like, okay, yeah, I got to go out there. Got to go do my scene. And then, so we're all just chatting away. And then she comes back a little bit later after she does her scene. She goes, I missed my entrance, y'all. And we were like, what? She was like, yeah, I fully thought I had more time. I went to the bathroom. I was walking down the hall. I said hi to Dallas. I told him he had a nice hat. I did a little meditation. I walked back. Oh, sweet and swift. And then our ASM is like, you missed your cue. and she was like, apparently they were on stage for like 15 to 20 seconds. Like,
Which feels like forever.
Feels eternity.
Which part was it?
This was in Act 3. When with all the boys sitting at the table.
Oh. And then she comes in after.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean...
Did you talk to the boys?
Yeah, we all did, because they all came in after we talked to them about it.
What'd they say?
And they were like, yeah, it's fine, it worked.
Oh no. That's funny.
And one of my friends was like, I got a laugh out of it because I was just ad-libbing because I'm supposed to like cover up cigarettes and like weed stuff. And when she didn't come on, I was like, huh, I got ash on my shirt for nothing. And I'm like, that's the way to do it. That's the way to save the day.
Oh, the baker's wife had to improv a little. Poor thing, she looked lost. She literally was waiting for for some people to come on stage.
Yeah.
And she goes, and she starts looking backstage. She goes,
I want my bed, I want my bed, I want my bed.
She goes, where do I go?
Oh no.
And then they came running in from the back of the theater. She was like, oh, thank God. And all I could see when it was her up there, I was like, that happened to me. And when I did Charlie Brown, I was like, I saw the people in the back of the theater waiting to come in. And they were just talking.
You said, hello.
They were just talking in the back of the theater. And I was like, Ew, you're gross. And then they came running in, and I was like, Peppermint Patty, Franklin, hey.
And then cut to backstage. Where were you guys?
The director really did
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of lay into them.
Wow.
Wow.
Sheradyn, we wanted to talk about...
Yeah, we were in high school once.
We were in high school. We know what it was like to be in a show
Yeah.
in high school.
We also are in love.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when our love really... Oops, sorry.
Our love really began.
Really took flight.
Oh, yes.
Let me scratch it.
Yeah, scratch your nose.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We did a little show called Once Upon a Mattress.
It's not a porno, despite how it sounds.
I always describe it as, you know, Princess and the Pea? People go, yeah? I go, it's that.
Yep.
Why
Yep.
isn't it called Princess and the Pea?
Because it's not Princess and the Pea. It's
Yes,
more,
it is.
I mean, it is, but it's more complex than that.
Is it?
Yeah, because the original... Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, The Princess and the Pea is a story about...
For those who don't know.
Well, maybe some people
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's about this prince who wants to get married, and the queen is like, well, sure, but like, I guess like this princess shows up one day, and they don't believe she's a princess, so they're like, we'll test her, and we'll put a pea underneath her mattress. If she feels the pea, then she's a real princess, because
Right.
princesses are meant to be like, oh, dainty and sensitive and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, she feels the pea. They're like, oh, you're a princess. And then they can get married. And that's like the basic, simple story. And Once Upon a Mattress is that story, but adds a lot of layers to it and makes it more complicated.
Yeah.
And we did this show, Sheradyn's junior year, my sophomore year. And I think it is easily one of my most favorite shows I've ever done.
Me too.
In my entire life.
I agree. And while you were saying that, I just noticed the part where I'm supposed to feel the pee. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When I was in the show, I don't think I understood why I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I think now, if I were to do it again, I could make some better choices.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that ending when we get, you know,
Yeah.
a little further down the line.
But you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just kind of did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't think about it. I guess that worked because you were really in the mind of the character, you know?
I guess,
Because
yeah.
the character didn't know what was going on either.
Yeah.
So, but do you remember... Let's go back to the beginning. Do you
Let's
remember what you auditioned with for that
I
show?
don't. I was thinking about that today. I don't.
You don't remember what you did? I
No.
remember what I did.
I know that my freshman year, I'm pretty sure I sang Monticello from Edges. I know at one point I sang Good Morning Baltimore. Maybe I sang that. I might have sang Good Morning Baltimore.
Okay. Do you remember your monologue?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I remember my
Yeah, what'd you
monologue.
sing?
Oh, what I sang?
Go ahead with your monologue.
My monologue was, I found something online called The Christmas Surprise, which was a very long monologue, and I trimmed it down to be like about a minute. Like I cut a lot of stuff out and made it work. And I had done the monologue before in class, so I recycled it. And then my song, and I don't know why I did it, but I sang Cool from West Side Story.
For Once Upon a Mattress?
For Once Upon a Mattress. And also...
Pretty interesting choice.
I didn't even learn the real West Side Story version. I learned the Glee version, because that's the version I knew.
Are you lying?
No. I said...
What's different?
I don't think much is different, but to me it sounded more like a song in Glee, so that's why I did that version.
That makes sense.
So, and I'll never forget, though, so I sang my audition song for someone, because they were like, oh, sing it for me. And I did it, and this person went, well, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either.
Who said that to you?
I'll tell you after, but yeah, I was like...
Please do.
Yeah, I was like, that was kind of mean.
That's very mean.
But I mean, jokes on them because I got the part that I wanted.
Yeah.
So, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then we had the callbacks. And do you remember singing for that? Because you guys had to sing.
I do remember the callbacks
Okay.
because there was someone at the callbacks that was really trying to place doubt in my head because when I do remember when I auditioned, I knew I wanted Winifred because I was like an unladylike princess. Sign me up, you know? So I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was like catering it towards.
Yeah, what you were going for.
And then when I got called back for Winifred, there was someone who was very upset that I was called back for Winifred, and they were like, "I hope you know that I'm gonna get it." And I was like, "Okay,
Oh,
I
I
hope
was
you
like, who is
do."
this? But I think I know who it
Yeah,
is.
and I was like, "Okay, yeah, like that's no worries," because I was just doing me.
Yeah.
I went in there and I kicked booty in that callback, and then I got the role, and they were very upset.
I did fine on my callback, but I screwed it up. I screwed up the words.
They don't honestly after being on this side of callbacks, they don't care
No, they
about the
don't.
words.
But at the time, when you're not on that side, it
Oh,
feels like the most important
oh yeah,
thing in the entire world.
100%.
And yeah, like who cares about the words? Like as long as the sound is there,
Right.
that's all that matters. But yeah, we sang the song Normandy.
Normandy.
Is fine and fair. Yeah, that's what we had to sing.
We had to sing Shy.
Because I don't think we had callbacks, at least the guys. I don't think we had specific callbacks for the characters. They were just like, here's the tenor callback. Here's like the bass callback. Mm-hmm. I think. So we didn't have like characters. But I wanted Prince Dauntless. And someone else really wanted it too. And our high school does 2 casts usually. And the other guy that wanted Dauntless was like, Jacob, that'd be so cool if we got the part together. And I was like, yeah, that would be super cool. And I genuinely was hoping that that would happen at the time. Mm-hmm. And it didn't because I was the only one cast in the role. Mm-hmm. So I got to be in both casts.
Yeah.
But I
was
remember
double cast.
I felt all the awkwardness of going up to the cast list. At first I was thrilled that like I got the part that I wanted, and that was the first time that had ever happened to me, going out for a role that I really wanted and getting it.
Same.
Yeah, it's so cool to be like, wow, there's my name, like on the next character that I wanted. And that was the start, by the way, of my really bad mental health and OCD. Didn't know it was OCD at the time, and intrusive thoughts, but that was a celebratory moment. And I remember there were like donut holes inside. I didn't eat any because I felt nauseous. But I remember seeing you give
Mr. Ryan a hug.
Mr. Ryan the biggest hug.
He gave me the biggest hug. He was so proud of me.
Yeah.
It was like the best moment, especially after the year I had before with like my own personal life and everything. Like it was like amazing.
Yeah, I didn't get a hug. I like went up to him and he was like, Jacob, great job. He was like, you will be playing Dauntless for both casts. Because I was like, surely there must have been a mistake. And there was not.
Wow.
But
Was that scary?
I mean, a little bit. Because, I mean, growing up and seeing everyone, like all the main characters in our musicals having 2 people, I was like, because people have gotten sick before, or things have happened and their counters have gone on for them. And I was like, I don't have that option. Like, I don't have a counter. So I have to do both. But, like...
That's how I feel like the boys feel right now in Into the Woods.
Yeah, it's...
They're not double cast. Only the females are.
Yeah. That part's scary. But, I mean, I had done... Up until that point, I was in both casts for every musical we'd ever done.
Right.
So, I mean, the amount of shows didn't make a difference to me.
It was just the fact that you didn't have someone else to share with.
Yes. And this was, at that point, that would have been the biggest part in a show I'd ever had. Like a part that size. And there were songs and some dancing.
I had a lot of dancing.
I took myself out of a dance.
Which one?
Your first song. I took myself out of Shy.
Oh, you did because you just stood in the back. Jeez, my phone is blowing up.
So because I was the only one cast, I had to be on the main, because we had two different rehearsals. We had dance rehearsals, and then we had blocking rehearsals.
Oh, it was at the same time, wasn't it?
At the same time, yeah, they'd be like, Alpha Cast, you're on stage. Beta Cast, you're in the drama room learning the dance.
And then they would switch.
Yes. And then since I was in both, Mr. Ryan, our director, was like, Jacob, you're on stage the whole time.
Wow.
So I was like, but how am I supposed to learn choreography? Mm-hmm. And so I remember I tried one time. I tried staying. I was like, I'm just going to stay in the drama room and learn the dance. And that worked for about 5 minutes. And then I was pulled into the theater.
Wow.
So I was like, I don't have time to learn Shy because I'm terrible at dancing, like at learning choreography. So I just took myself out. I stood in the back. I didn't even ask anybody. And I was like, I'll do a little march around the audience like they wanted, because that doesn't require any choreography. And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. If we're talking about Shy, I was a little sad in that song that the other girl who played my part got to be lifted up.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not.
That bummed me out, too.
At the end of it. Yeah, they told me I just had to walk down stage.
I hated that.
And I think that came about because I came to rehearsal one day, but I wasn't able to participate because I had donated blood. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't let me rehearse it. So they just said I can just walk instead. And I was like, okay.
That's really sad.
I mean, they did still pick me up at one point, but they didn't.
They didn't do the shoulder lift.
I didn't get to do the big lift at the end.
Yes, because they kind of like carried the princess down. Like they lifted her and carried her down the aisle.
But now that I think about it, like it would have been, like my version was easier.
Yes.
Because like imagine holding yourself up and doing that big note.
Yeah.
But still, at the time I was very sad.
Yeah, I would have been.
I fell during the opening number one night. They dropped me.
During Shy, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. That was on video, wasn't it?
Oh, that wasn't the opening number. Sorry. It was just my opening number.
Yes.
It is on video. Yeah.
That's amazing.
They dropped me and I thought quick on my feet and I turned around and
I didn't see it.
I clicked on you. I clicked on you.
You clicked on me.
I
tapped me?
Tapped. Wow, that word was nowhere to be found. I tapped you and you were like,
no,
on the ground!
Well, I remember, because that's the one part, like, I started inserting myself back into the choreography because it wasn't dancing at that point. Mm-hmm. And I turn my back from you because you're meant to turn me around. Mm-hmm. And I do remember that one night I was waiting a little bit longer. I was like, why isn't she turning me around? And then you like looked like you weren't on the ground, but
I was on my knees. I was getting up.
Yeah, but I don't think you were you all the way on the ground? I don't remember.
When I fell?
Yeah.
I was very much on my knees.
Oh,
like I turned around on my knees and then I was like standing up as I
thought you were already back up on your feet.
I don't think so.
But I don't remember.
Roll the clip.
I was like, what are you doing? I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. Was it hard working with your counter for that show?
No.
I love that.
I don't think. Not that I can remember. No, she was great. She was really good too. So I felt like I had like a lot of room to like get up to where she was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I had to work harder, I felt like. It was like a week or two before show. I still didn't know one of our songs.
Me too.
And she, we went into the hallway and practiced it for like an hour.
That's so cool. Mm-hmm. I love good relationships with your counter. I can honestly say I think I've only had one truly fully positive relationship with the counter in a show. Because all the other times have been like, I've talked about it before. One of them called me just by the character's name. He was like, hey, other Christian. And then I've had counters that like, I don't know, just didn't do much, like, or like weren't really present. But I do remember though, your counter, and I love both of you guys. And you guys both did things different and special in your own way. But I will say, Sheradyn does get the points because you were able to hold out the notes.
Thank you.
In Shy. And I remember...
Did she not?
No. Oh, she used to. I don't know what happened towards the end. Because, yeah, your last note is Shy. And you hold it out. And she would start it. And, like, it'd be all big and strong. But then it would just stop.
Oh.
And I'd be like, why are
Hold
you
it
doing
out,
that?
baby.
Yeah, I was like, hold that out. I'm like, that's
You gotta take a
your
big
money
breath.
note. You know?
It is a money note. Oh, it's so good.
And yeah, your counter didn't do it.
Yeah. I thought she was great. And that is one thing now working with the same high school. The counters seem to be like so supportive of each other.
Yeah.
Which is really good because I don't think it was always like that.
I think it depended on the show.
It was not like that for Cinderella.
No. But
I did not have a good relationship with my counter for Cinderella.
also, like, at that point, too, because, yeah, I would say my junior and senior year, it didn't feel like the most healthy relationship between counters. And then my senior year, too, my God.
Oh, yeah.
And it was mainly one actor who kept comparing the casts and said to me one time, Jacob, I'm so sorry, but our cast is far superior than yours. Like, not even joking. Like, I knew this person meant every word he said.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad you think so. I'm like, they are talented people.
Yeah, everyone's talented.
Yeah.
So, like, why say that? And that just shows what kind of person they are.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, like you said, I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Like, I'm going to play the character how I want. My counter for Cinderella was fine. So I guess I can take that back.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was fine. So I guess I've had two good counter experiences before. And yeah, I didn't have to worry about it in Once Upon a Mattress. So.
Right.
Let's talk about some controversy, though.
Oh, okay. I had another topic, but yes, go ahead.
So, you weren't in this cast, but I was. In Once Upon a Mattress, we had a prank war.
Oh, yeah, get into it.
And I remember thinking at the time, this is genius.
Yeah.
What a wonderful idea. Oh, we are hearing cheering outside.
What the hell?
Anyway, so whoever had this idea for the prank war, I'm not going to say who because I don't even know who it was, but when we were doing our mic check, they were like, if you're going to do the prank war, you have to say, hello, my name is, and I am participating. And of course I did it. I didn't even pull a single prank, but there was one night that went down in history.
Oh my God, it was awful.
It was the worst night ever. First of all, I felt like my performance was not very good that night. I don't know why, but I wasn't feeling it. Chester, the ghost, turned on our house lights.
I thought that happened when I was performing.
It could have happened twice, but I swear it was that night.
Okay.
I swear the house lights came on. I was one of the few actors that was allowed to go back to the dressing room because I had to change. And when I got back to the dressing room, on every mirror, there was a letter, and it spelled beta equals lame. Like beta cast equals lame. And
I'm sorry. It's such a high school thing to
it's so
write.
high school. It's so stupid. And like today,
Was I beta?
no, you were alpha.
Oh,
'Cause
wait.
it was beta cast that was doing the prank war.
But you guys were on stage.
Yeah, we know. That's why.
So then why would you write... But it was only your cast that was participating.
It was meant to look like
Alpha did it.
Alpha was doing it, I think. I think that was the intent behind the prank.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was meant to look like Alpha Cast was sabotaging us. And I was already having a terrible feeling night about performance and everything.
Yeah.
My anxiety was at an all-time high
Yeah.
with my intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
My brain went into a sheer panic.
The only thing I remember from that was like everyone trying to be like, well, no one was allowed in the dressing rooms at this time. Like, who's the only person who's not in there? And it was like everyone was trying to be a detective. And they were like, the only people, we were like checking cameras.
Oh, yeah.
And the only person that wasn't on stage was a certain someone. And we were like, was it them? And someone who knew who it was like, I don't know. And I was like,
know.
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was,
gosh.
and then also like whoever, well, we know who did it, but they took someone else's lipstick to write on the mirrors, and that person was pissed. He was so mad about the lipstick being used, and voices were raised.
I forgot. Was it a boy or a girl who wrote it?
It was a girl who wrote it, but they took one of the boys' lipsticks.
Okay. I was just making sure because I thought that never mind, go ahead.
Yeah, and so the boy whose lipstick was taken, voices were raised, and there was just I feel like a lot of distrust in that room at that moment, and it was wild. It was.
Was this before intermission?
Yes, I think so, because that night I didn't change the bottoms because they weren't pants, whatever the hell they were. Tights, I guess. I didn't change them because I have a different pair of tights that I change into. And that night I wore the same tan colored ones because
you just weren't feeling it.
I just wasn't in the mood to change.
Wow.
I changed the top half of myself, but I didn't change the bottom. So that show I had different tights for the second half of the show.
Oh my gosh. Was there any other pranks that happened?
I don't know if
I know in Tech someone's car got saran wrapped.
Yeah. I don't know if any other pranks happened. I heard about some that were planned. Like one person, this is so messed up, and I'm not saying any names, but they had plans to like take someone in our drama class. It was a little odd. They were going to take his picture and like
I've never heard
and
this.
print out like a bunch of them and like just cut them out and like tape them onto another cast member's binder and stuff. Like, and they were going to just replace the head of this one person in our drama class. And I was told the whole prank, and it never happened because after what happened that night, the prank war was shut down.
The prank war was shut down. People got in trouble. People got shows taken away.
People lost shows. Like
our dear friend got a show. I know you're listening.
She did get a show.
Call me and come on the podcast. I mean, tell us your piece.
Tell us your piece of the story. My God.
Wasn't it her idea to have the prank?
The person who lost a show? Probably.
I think she was like, all right, kids, listen up.
I know you listen.
She does. She texts me about it every week.
I want you so bad to come be on our podcast. I miss you. Let's hear your side of the story.
Hold on. I need to know whose face was gonna get...
I'm not gonna say it on here. I mean, I know there's no way that this person listens to our podcast at all. It was a boy in our... Here, I'll tell you now, because like...
No.
I won't say the name, but like this person was known for being a big Dark Knight fan. And did a lot of like...
They weren't in the show.
They weren't in the show, but they were just gonna... But we all had the same class together.
This is the funniest.
Also, current Mesa kids listening, don't do a prank war, is what we're trying to say.
Don't do it. We were idiots. I wasn't a part of it, but they were dummies.
I mean, also, like, I didn't get in trouble or anything, so, like, I kind of look back at it fondly.
You're like, what a time.
Well, I'm like, what a great time. You were like, I
participated in that.
I was a participant. I didn't do any pranks. I was mentally ill at the time. I mean, I still am, but, like, I was unmedicated and untreated back then. So, like...
Why am I laughing so hard at this?
It was just...
This is incredible.
It was a whole different time. And, like, this was just one show.
Oh, my gosh.
So this was about now midway through our run, and I remember all of us getting pulled into the theater, and we were told, here's what will happen. And they were going to check cameras. They
fess up now, or we will find you.
They found the culprit. Culprit got a show taken away. And it so happened to be the show that was getting recorded. So in our cast recording, it's not...
Sorry to this man. Just kidding. It was not a man. It's not a man.
Our cast recording, it's not the person who was supposed to be in that cast, which bummed me out because I wanted cast recordings with everybody.
She was so good in the show.
She was fantastic in the role. I mean, both of them were, but like I wanted DVDs of each of them, and it didn't happen.
Oh my gosh! Wow. You know, I wish I had the prank war. I really do. I probably would have pulled some pranks. All I remember from that show is like me finally getting my first standing ovation, me making questionable choices on stage. Like watching it back, I'm like, not a good choice, Sheradyn.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember nailing one of my songs one night, and I was like, yes. I went off stage and I fell to the floor because I was so proud of myself. And then I was supposed to be in the next scene, and someone was like, Sheradyn, get up. And I was like, oh my God, I had to do a quick change.
I had my first, I guess first like solo song.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because, I mean, there was another character on stage, but I was the only one singing because that character didn't talk. The King Sextimus, didn't speak until the very end of the show.
Oh my God, spoiler.
Sorry. If you were wondering, yes. Once Upon a Mattress, go look it up. And that song almost got taken away from me because I couldn't get it.
Well, you did get it though.
Because the timing was super hard, and it was so hard doing it by myself. I had to go home, and what was it? It was like some weird music thing for your computer that we had to download.
Oh my gosh, yes. At least we didn't have to deal with what Into the Woods has had to deal with.
With the libretto?
No. Their rehearsal tracks. Literally in the middle would go, rehearsal tracks.
I've heard it. It's bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
But I had to dumb mine down to literally just the beats. Like, I had to take out all music, and it would just go, bum, 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 bum.
Oh, man.
Boom, boom. Like, that's how I had to learn the song because I couldn't get it.
That was me with Swamps of Home. I was like, this doesn't make sense. And the only way I could get part of it was like, what was the words? Kind of, the swamps of home are only to be hold. I had to do something that went down so that I would.
Break of day. At break of day.
Oh my gosh, our friend.
Our friend.
That's your friend. I had to go back and she carried me and lifted me up and I had to go.
That was another song. I didn't get any direction for what to do. So I just kind of.
So we worked on that together. We were like, Jacob, do something funny over there.
So I felt like I looked stupid. I was just kind of copying you guys doing, but like confused.
Me, I went in the middle of the song. And you went.
He said, and, but the swamps of home are thicker than blood. Blood.
You weren't supposed to say that?
No, I did.
Oh.
But, like, I think I went, just like.
I remember looking at you all crazy.
So, just goes to show.
You can fall in love with your co-stars.
You can fall in love with your co-stars.
We're in love.
We are. So.
I can't wait to make more choices.
I can't wait to. But by the end of the show.
Yeah?
Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Princess and the Pea. It's a pea that keeps her awake.
Sure.
We all know in real life that ain't gonna do nothing. And in the show, the queen has 12 mattresses. Mm-hmm. And the queen does not want the prince to get married. So she makes it so everyone fails. And so for Princess Winifred, she's like, here's 12 mattresses. We'll test her for sensitivity. And then at the end of the show, you're doing your thing and you can't fall asleep. And they even brought in the nightingales, which were some pretty singing birds, which I think were supposed to sing pretty, but ours didn't.
Because they couldn't.
So they just said,
what does
the
fox say?
They did say that. And then they went, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Like,
because the queen wanted me to sleep through it.
Yeah. And like, I was like, what's bad singing birds going to do? That's going to keep her awake.
Yeah.
And so she has all these things, and then you start counting sheep.
Yep.
And then for the last scene.
That was a great choice.
You come on stage. You went, 4,300. 4,300. Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
And then the queen's like, 4,330 what? Sheep. What do you keep on your mattress? Jousting equipment.
Then we find out there was some.
And then, so at the very end of the show, it's revealed that there's all this stuff underneath the mattress because the kingdom
wanted
her to be the princess. So, like, they rigged the competition. And Sheradyn's...
Hold on.
What?
Is she actually not a princess?
Sheradyn, we've had this conversation before. You've said the exact same thing. You went, wait, does that mean I'm not a princess? No, you are... Sheradyn. Winifred is actually a princess, but, like, that test is ludicrous. But they just wanted to
make sure.
Yeah, the test is ludicrous. Like, no one is going to pass that test.
Mm-hmm. Until the mouse devours the hawk. Sorry, I just thought about that.
That was the prophecy for my character, and then that makes the queen shut up.
Sure does.
And we were robbed of a kiss, which we have talked about.
God, we were robbed of a kiss. I wanted to kiss those luscious lips, Jacob. You could do it now. Imagine. You can do it now.
Also, Sheradyn got mad at me during that show. I'll never forget it.
I did?
Yeah, because I am a terrible dance partner.
Oh. Let's air out the dirty laundry.
There's a lot. I know there's one thing you're going to talk about, but yeah.
What do you mean there's one thing I'm going to talk about?
Well, there's a couple things, but...
We're already at an hour, babe.
Yeah, I know, and we got more time. This is our podcast.
Okay.
So the first thing being, learning the dances was hard. And I feel Sheradyn was very frustrated with me the whole time.
Oh, it's just because I learned very quickly.
And you were like, Jacob, you got it! And I'm like, I can't remember. Like, I got it.
Which song are we talking about?
I'm talking about the Spanish Panic. Learning that.
Oh, okay.
And in the
I got mad at you for that?
I feel like you were getting very frustrated with me because I was not picking it up fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And then
to publicly apologize. I'm sorry.
And then he'd be like, okay, alpha cast, sit down, beta cast, go up. And I had to stay because I was in both casts.
Yeah.
So that was sad. And then we had done the show probably at this point. At least I had done the show at least 3 times for an audience. Mm-hmm. And then...
Are we talking about...
We're talking about Song of Love, which is the Act 1 closing song that Prince Dauntless got to sing. Well, that's cool. I never realized that. I got an Act 1 closing song. But, so Sheradyn came up to me and was like, Jacob, because there's a lot of stuff
I had to do so much in that freaking song. I was running back and forth.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to be thinking of other things.
There's a lot of pieces because, like, Dauntless sings about, he's like, I'm in love with a girl named Fred, and, like, he lists all the reasons, and then each verse is, like, another thing. And Sheradyn was like, Jacob, I can't remember when we start to do the dance. So you're gonna, like, I'm gonna look to you.
I need you to help me.
And I was like, yeah, I got it for sure. And then my brain turned off.
Yeah.
And I sang the wrong lyrics. And Sheradyn was like, that's my cue. And went
fully thinking that Jacob had my back.
And yeah, so she started
I had so much confidence in this man.
So yeah, I was like, oh God. And then so she started to do the dance part.
I stuck my arm up in the air.
Stuck her arm up in the air. And I just kind of shook my head on stage, just, no.
I was like...
And she kind of went, oh, and then moved on to the next thing.
Got off stage and I was like, fuck off.
Yeah, the way it happened was I was back in the drama room first because Sheradyn had to crawl out of the orchestra pit after she jumped in.
I did have to do that.
And she went, Jacob James! And I felt so bad.
Oh my God.
Because I'd never had a blunder like that on stage before in my life.
Jacob, I looked like a buffoon.
It was fine.
I stuck my arm in the air.
Yeah.
And it was just the fear and panic in your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
When you were like,
I was like, no. I was like, I messed up.
I was like, okay.
And you went, and then got back to it. But yeah, so I apologize. I did not mean for that to happen, but it happened.
That's okay.
I can't take it back now.
You can't change the past.
I can't.
And that's all right.
But that show...
Now we have a story to tell our children.
We have... Exactly. Our kids will know how we fell in love. That show was one of my absolute favorites. It's so special to me. I wish... There are a lot of things I would change about it.
That's why I'm hoping.
I wish we had better costumes.
Me too.
If I'm being honest. The costumes were one of my least favorite things. I wish we had better dancers in our ensemble. What else? Oh, I would totally change how I played dauntless.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think maybe we could do it again someday, I will make way better choices.
Now that we're seasoned actors,
right?
We've gone off and got some life experience and college experience.
Yeah.
Because, I was like, oh, I don't like how I made him. I was like, I made Dauntless a little too gay. And that's fine. I was like, but a little bit too much. Like, I mean, granted, some of the things they wanted me to do, they were like, can you please, like pop your leg up, like, when she lifts up the thing? And I was like, okay, I guess. I didn't want to, but that's what they wanted me to do. And then, there's just so many things where I'm like, I hate that choice. I hate that choice.
You want to know the choice that I would keep?
What?
It's bad luck to see too much of the bride before the wedding. That was my favorite.
That was a good choice. I would keep... There's a part in the very beginning where we're testing for another princess, and like I get more excited with like each question because I'm like, she's gonna pass, and then he's like, and what was the middle name of the daughter-in-law of the best friend who slayed the dragon? And like my face went from like the big smile to just like deadpan, and I was like getting up on my tippy toes, and I dropped back down to my feet.
That's good.
And then, I'd keep that choice.
I love that.
So, should we do the show again?
I would love to.
Great. When are we going to do it?
Maybe in the near future. Who knows?
We hope. That'd be so cool.
Actually hoping.
I would love, though, like if a professional company were to do that show again.
Oh my gosh.
I'd love to audition
I feel like
for that.
no one thinks about that show.
They don't.
It's so good. It's so rich of fun comedy. You know?
Yeah. I would love to direct that show. You know.
We need to talk to someone then. Because someone asked me.
Yeah, but I'd want to be in it.
Like, nope. They said I could do both. And I said, I know someone that would love to do both.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. I feel like I'd have a lot of good direction. There's a lot of jokes. And it's comedy. So I'm like, it has to be done in the right way. So.
Like no one is getting any younger. Oh, it's so good.
All right. Well, we've been chit-chatting it up for a long time.
We've been talking your ear off.
But thank you guys for listening to Harping on the Past.
A Theater Kid podcast. Signing off. I'm Sheradyn.
And I am Sheradyn's boyfriend.
And I'm Jacob's girlfriend.
And
I almost said boyfriend.
You should have.
And then when I thought of it, I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Sheradyn.
And we're in love.
Keep listening. We should be getting back to normal podcast scheduling soon now that the show's over. So hopefully, sorry, these last few episodes have been all over the place and random.
Let us know how you're feeling, you know?
Please.
Give us some feedback. We love to hear from you guys.
Leave us a review, comment, something.
Message us on Instagram. We're very active on there.
Message us. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
There's still a lot that we could talk about. Also, I'm reaching out to the Mesa people, to our fellow graduates who have graduated. I want an alumni from Mesa to be a guest on our podcast because we haven't had that yet. We've had college guests.
That's so good.
But we haven't had any alumni guests, and I want to...
MMHS, baby, where you at?
Come be on our podcast.
Please.
All right, we love you.
We love you.
Bye-bye.